All right, welcome everyone. This is Brian. We're here for Forex Live. This is Monday night, October 7th. And as always, during our Monday evening classes, we go pretty quick. The purpose of the Monday night class is just to show how we utilize our software to park trades utilizing the Forex alerts. And then also, we go through the daily report at the end to show how we can utilize that daily report to identify some key levels that we may see repeatedly over the course of the following week or the upcoming week. So it's kind of twofold. The first part will go pretty quickly. We'll just we'll have a look at the Forex Forex alert that Forex Joe put out for the day, and we'll utilize our software to park some trades just to make sure everyone understands that, and then pop over to the daily report, run through that, and then we'll wrap it up. These classes on Mondays typically only take about half an hour. And then, of course, back for the remainder of the week, we're back for our Forex Live classes in the morning, where we utilize the daily trading regimen along with the daily report to find some live in-the-market trades during that London-US overlap. So there we have it. Before we get started, just run through the disclaimer real quickly. Need to let you know that unique experiences and past performances do not guarantee future results. I think everyone here is very much aware of that. We're aware that trading involves risk. But I am going to pause for just a second, give you an opportunity to read through that, and then we'll get started with the trading. All right, that should be long enough. Let me close this down. All right, so what is going on tonight? Well, we've just got a couple of things here. So let's pop over to our daily report. Here we go. All right, so Forex Show put out our alert. So the first place to start, I had our Forex factory up. I like to always just see what news is coming up. If we're going to park any kind of trades, we'd want to make sure that we're doing that with full awareness of what news events might be occurring, and knowing that those news events could impact the trades that we're parking. So I had open a copy of Forex Factory and was just looking through here. We've got some Aussie news coming up here in about half an hour. Not a red report, but definitely something that's medium impact. And then over the rest of the evening or early morning for us here in the U.S. anyway, we've got some Japanese news, and then followed by European news later on the euro and the Swissy. So if you're trading, euro pairs, Swiss pairs, yen pairs, just know that there's some news there. Not real high impact stuff until we get, right after the London Open, but definitely some things we'd want to be aware of throughout the trading day if you're trading live over the course of the evening. But beyond that, though, we're most interested here. Every night, Forex Joe puts out his alert. And with his trade alert here, he goes through just a ton of information for us, does his analysis, and lets us know what he's seeing in the marketplace. And then from there, he provides some potential trades. And we always see a trade on the Euro USD and the Pound USD, and then he includes other pairs beyond that as well. So starting here with the Euro USD, we're able to see that we have a couple of trades. We have a scalper's buy and a scalper's sell, which we find right down here. Now, I'd encourage you to go through and read the entire report. That's great news for you, some great information over there. But ultimately, for the sake of the class, we're here to really show how we utilize the software to park trades. So with that said, we would just, we're most concerned about this piece here, because we're going to use the software to park the scalper's buy and scalper's sell trade. So with that said, I'll pop over to my screen. We're doing a little bit of testing. If you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, we had Joel Posen on for one of our morning classes, and he had given us some code for the trender that was in TradeStation, and we're trying to convert that over to the MetaTrader 4 so we can provide that to everyone. But in the meantime, we're still testing. It's not quite ready yet. All right, so popping over to our charts, I've just loaded my chart trader software, which is our pending order software, and that's what we'll utilize to park our trades. And sometimes it just takes a second for the market to roll over, and then our information pops up over here. So what we're going to do is we're looking at the trade alert, and we have a scalper's buy at 36.01, and we have a scalper sell at 35.70. So we have a buy at 36.01 and a sell at 35.70. So what we're going to do here is we've loaded up our pending order software, and now we're just going to park those trades, show how this works. So it's pretty darn easy. We're looking for the red lines and the green lines. The red lines are our sell lines, and the green lines are our buy lines. And all we do is we simply grab those lines and we drag them, or drag them down to the area that we'd like to place our buy and place our take profit. And then from there, once we set the software, it does the rest for us. Now sometimes when you first load up your software, you might see that your lines are actually off the screen. And if that occurs, we just simply grab the price bar here at the right-hand side of the screen, drag that down, and then we can access the rest of our information. So what we see here is the green buy line is kind of hiding back there behind a price area. It's also hiding behind a red line. So we need to grab that and drag it out. And what we're looking for is to drag that to 36.01. So we just drag that over here to 36.01 and let her go. And once we're there, it's on. So I just kind of eyeballed it. That's 35.99. Let's get it up there a little bit higher where it should be. You can eyeball it and do like I've just done here, or if you want to be right on the money, you can actually, and we'll set it with the cell. We'll do it that way. You can actually right-click on it and set it wherever you'd like it to be. Get my cell line out of the way here. So then from there, we just select our other lines. If you don't know what they are off the top of your head, you can hover your mouse over them, and it'll display where you are, and it'll show you that's take profit 1, take profit 2, buy entry, so on and so forth. So we'll set our take profit. Now, of course, Forex Joe lets us know in our daily report, or in our Forex alert, he tells us that we're going to buy 36.01, and we're going to set our take profit 1 at 5 to 12 pips, take profit 2 at 8 to 25 pips. The reason we're doing that, and the reason this is a range and not a fixed number, is because if we're parking the trade, we're going to want that to be kind of down to the lower side. But if we're live in the market and we're able to see what the current market conditions are, we might be able to stretch take profit 1, take profit 2 a little bit further, depending on what's actually happening live in the market. But if we're going to just simply park a scalper's buy or a scalper's sell, we'll want to keep that pretty tight. So that's what we're doing here. So we've got our take profit 1 locked in. We'll do our take profit 2 right here, and then we grab our stop loss line, which is right down here, and drag that one up, get that set, and once that's all on, you can just simply click move to buy, and it'll set that trade for us. Pretty darn easy. Now to the reverse side, we've got a sell at 35.70. So same thing here. We're just going to move our lines to where we'd like to have them, and you can eyeball it and get it where you'd like it to be. Obviously over here, as you're moving your line around, it'll change depending on where that currently sits. So we eyeballed it. We pulled at 35.69. If you want to be right on the money, you can actually right-click this line and go to Trend Line Properties, and from here you can enter your value, 35.70, 35.70, and it'll set that for you. So 35.70. My cursor go? There it is. 35.70. Hit enter, and there we are. And then the same for our take profit lines. We'll move those down here. Take profit 1 and take profit 2. And once those are set, we can just simply click move to sell, and voila. As soon as the market ticks over, we'll be in that trade as well. So now we've got a buy order and a sell order bracketed in. If we want to alter our stop or alter our take profit target, we can just simply drag the the take profit 1 or take profit 2, so we can adjust the trade once it's already on if we'd like to. Tighten up our stop, we can do that. whatever we need to do to adjust that trade. Typically for these scalper trades, we're looking, if we've got a 8 profit, take profit, 8 pip, take profit 1, we'll set our stop loss to about 8 pips as well. We don't really want to risk 20 pips to make 8. So, we typically keep that as a pretty low risk for those trades. Now, these trades, keep in mind, Forex Joe does remind us on the report that reminds us typically here that during the Asian session this may stall the first time. We see that quite a bit. We'll see it right as Tokyo opens, maybe make a run, retrace back, and then push on through. It doesn't always do that, but he's just letting us know this may stall the first time. So we should be aware of that, and that's one of the reasons we typically will place these trades in a practice account. You want to get a feel for what's the right timing to place these trades, and sometimes that may actually be later in the evening, into 10 or 11 o'clock Central or Eastern time, just to make sure that you're missing that first stall. It just kind of is up to you, but I would encourage you to place the trades in your practice account and see how they're working out and what that timing is that's going to have the highest success rate for you based on what you're trading. So that's how we enter those trades, and pretty darn easy, pretty quick. Let's do it one more time. We'll do it for the pound and just show how quick that can be. So let's do it again real quickly. Or actually, what we could do for the pound, instead of setting that trade again, is we could talk about these experienced trades. You notice down here, Forex Joe typically has an experienced trade for us. He doesn't actually have one for the pound. There isn't one this session. Let's see. Here we go. For the U.S. yen, we have an experienced traders down here. So let's have a look at that and just show how we might set one of these experienced trader trades. We know what we're doing with the scalpers buy, scalpers sell, but we also have this. And these are typically entered, best if they're entered under live conditions, because you can watch for the retracement. Forex Joe is letting us know that we want to let this pair move down to 97.01, or let the pair move to 97.01, 97.10 area in reverse, and then we're going to sell 96.91. So let's see what how that's looking. Let's pop over here to the U.S. yen, and we're currently trading at 96.73. So we're currently at 96.73, and our experienced trade is telling us that we need to let this move to 97.01 or 97.10, and then sell 96.91 with a take profit 1 of 10 to 25, take profit 2 of 25 to 50. So what we would do here is we use our pending order software once again, and we're going to look to set our sell trade at 96. What was I said it like 3 times. I didn't write it down. It's going to go right in my head. 96.69. 96.60. Let me just write that down real quickly. 96.69, and we're looking for it to go to 97.10 at the highest. So 96.91. Gosh, what am I doing? Letting it go to 90, selling at 96.91. So what we would do is we'd move our sell bar here to 96.91 and get that one set, and then we'd be looking to have our stop loss above 96 or 97.10, because Forex Joe is saying, okay, this may move up, it may break through this key area, this 9,700 big psychological level whole number. We struggled around this whole number for the day today. It's finally broken through. We're expecting it to come back and retest that whole number, that 9,700, and it might even go as high as 97.10. So we need to keep our stop loss out of the way in order to make that happen. Now, this is a little higher risk trade if you're going to park the trade, because if we're going to park this and walk away from it, then we have to give the trade this amount of wiggle room to potentially move up to 9,700 or even might move through there before it reverses. So we just have to know that we're going to have a greater amount of risk on this trade. So with that said, we'd move our stop loss a little beyond that 97.10 area, and then we'd set our take profit, as he said, 10 to 25 pips for take profit 1. Probably go a little higher down here. Set our take profit 1, and then we can set our take profit to, and let that trade go. Now, if you're monitoring this live in the market, you don't have to have as large of a stop, because obviously we'd be waiting for that reversal to occur. We'd be waiting for it to move up to that 9,700 reverse off, and then we'd be able to sell our 96.91 under live conditions, keeping a little smaller stop loss there than going all the way up here and having to let it have room to breathe. So typically that's why I don't park these, because when we do that, we typically are having a greater risk to reward ratio than we would typically be comfortable with. But we can park this and see how that plays out, and that's how we would do it. We just have to make sure, if you're going to park the experience trade, you've got to leave room in your stop loss for that potential move against you up to that top of the level that Forex Joe's looking at. So that's how we would park a trade if we're going to do that. Now keep in mind, on both trades, whether it's a scalper's trade or the experience trade, either way, keep in mind that the software, once you hit take profit 1, the software is automatically going to peel off a third of the trade and then move our stop loss to break even +1. But it can only do that if your computer's running. So keep that in mind. If you're running an EA for anything, the EA can only run if your computer's awake. So if you have a laptop, don't shut down your screen. If you've got a desktop, your screen can go to sleep, but the computer itself can't go into sleep mode, because that will prevent your EAs from executing. And what could happen there? You might hit take profit 1, peel off a third, but your stop loss wouldn't move, and this might move back against you, and you'd have a greater loss than you would have otherwise had a profit locked in. So that's how we do that. And so we've covered that. If there's any questions, type them in. Otherwise, we'll pop over to the daily report and talk about what we're going to do there. All right, so the daily report, Forex Show puts this out every day on 22 currency pairs. How do I trail the last lot? The software keeps moving the stop loss back to break even +1. Thanks, James. That's a little bit strange. Typically, it shouldn't be doing that. That's actually very strange. That must be a bug with our latest release. And I'll chat with our programmer. We've got him working on another project for us, so I'm talking to him pretty frequently. We'll talk to him and find out what's going on there. Typically, you should just be able to drag that stop loss to wherever you'd like it, but it sounds like maybe the software is resetting it and keeps pulling it back to break even +1. What you can do is set some targets for yourself, and you can even trail your stop using your navigator and doing it that way. But that's not typically as clean as being able to pull your stop loss up to a stair step and staying behind those stair steps. So we'll check that out. We'll talk to our programmer and see if we can get that bug fixed. All right, so for the daily report, this is always done on 22 currency pairs, and what we were able to do here is capture quite a bit of information, and this is information that we use during our live class when we're live in the marketplace looking for trade setups to take right now or for that current day. But we're going to utilize this now to kind of put some lines on our chart for currency pairs that we might trade, that we could actually trade sometimes throughout the entire week. So it just sets us up for key areas that we'll want to watch. And what we see here, we're going to work mainly with this very first section. We see that we have channel information, and we see we have channels provided for the short term, the mid-term, and the long term. So daily, weekly, and monthly channels. And what we look for here is for numbers that are lining up and they're in alignment across all three levels. That's giving us the greatest level of support or resistance if we see our channels lining up at the midterm, the short term, and the long term. So it's a really quick exercise. We can just pull this up on Sunday night or Monday night and just scroll through the report really quickly and see where we're seeing that alignment. For instance, here, the very second pair down, we're seeing on the pound USD, we have alignment here at 60.44. So 60.44 is a 3 of 3 channel for a channel bottom. That's telling us that we've got a pretty significant area that we'll want to watch. If price moves down to 60.44, this is a great spot to look for a potential buy. We're currently trading above it. If we push down to 60.44, that's about 50 pips from where we currently are. If we push all the way down there, great spot to look for a potential buy on this. Now, does that mean that because it's a 3 of 3 channel, price can't just blow right through it? Of course not. Price, might get some momentum behind it and just, crush this. But what we know over time from watching Forex Joe's system here is when we see these numbers lining up at a key channel like that, lining up as the short-term, mid-term, and long-term, that gives us a lot more, it has a higher probability of bouncing there and potentially even reversing off of that number. So we can have a lot of confidence in that. So 60.44, great spot on the pound USD, for example, that we might want to park a buy order here. So I could do that. I can go ahead and park a buy order. I can utilize our software and look here at 60.44, which is actually a little bit lower than when I put that. No, it's right there. We could put a buy order on right here and see what the market might provide for us. Obviously parking a trade, we'd want to give it a little bit of wiggle room, but we don't want to go crazy with our risk to reward on this. Typically, I'd watch this pair, under live conditions to make this trade. But we can also use it to park a trade under conditions like we have right now, which are kind of range bound for these currency pairs. Now that we're in this funky government shutdown here in the U.S. So we could park a trade here and see if we can get a quick reversal, for 10 pips or so on take profit 1 and let that one go. So, great spot to look for a trade when we're at that key level. But also mark your chart, because tomorrow when we're live in the market, we'll be watching 60.44, especially if we're hanging out around this area during class tomorrow. We'll be looking to take trades off of this, and we probably, doesn't always happen, but typically when you see a 3 of 3 channel, you're not just going to see that once. Typically you will see it a couple of times. It'll be tested a couple of times throughout the week before price finally moves in one direction or the other, either away from it or back down through it. So good spot to watch. Those are good numbers for the probability factors that Forex Joe talks about in class. So there we have that one. Scrolling down, don't see anything here on the U.S. Swiss. We're not seeing any alignment, and I'm only looking for 3 of 3 channels. We do see some 2 of 3 channels, which can be good levels for us, but I'm only looking for 3 of 3 channels when I do this analysis on Sunday night or Monday nights. So just scrolling through real quickly, you can see how fast this exercise can go. Just takes a couple of minutes of your time to use this report, scroll through, and it can really set you up for the entire trading week. So just looking through here, not seeing any. Oh, here we go, the Euro CAD. We see some alignment. If this is a currency pair that you trade, you might have a look here at 39.85. Looks like we're seeing some alignment there as a channel bottom, short-term, mid-term, and long-term. Now here again, pound Swiss. Looking at some alignment here as a channel top. If that's the pair you trade, you might want to mark that down. And not a whole lot on here today. Just a couple. New Zealand yen, looks like some alignment here. So yeah, I guess we only had 4 over the course of today, but keep your eye on that. We'll talk more about utilizing the daily report under live conditions for trades as we get into things tomorrow with our trading class. So that's how we utilize the report to set ourselves up for the week. It just takes a second to scroll through there, and then of course if you're trading those currency pairs, you can just put the line on your chart so that when you get there, you'll know what you want to do. You'll know that's a key area, especially if price is hanging out there, and see how we're going to trade that under live conditions. So that's it. I told you we'd be here for about half an hour. It took us 25 minutes today, a little bit quicker than normal, but I think that's about all we need to cover. We accomplished what we had planned to, which is showing how we utilize the software to enter our trades, and then how we can utilize the daily report to set ourselves up for key areas to watch for the trading week, because typically these key channels will be seen at least once or twice before price finally breaks through and moves on. So you'll want to watch those key areas that are lining up at those 3 of 3 channels. Beyond that, we'll be back tomorrow morning for the U.S. session. So it's really trading during the U.S. London overlap. So as U.S. gets underway, we'll be online. And what we're going to do at that point is walk through the daily report in conjunction with the daily regimen that Forex Shows put together for us that teaches us how to utilize the daily report, looking at our current chart, current trends, and making some trading decisions based on that. So with that said, let's go ahead and wrap it up, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early, for the next class. You guys have a great evening, and we will see you soon.